What is up, everybody? All right, you're not going to want to miss this if you're just getting into the modes. If you know the positions, this is really going to help open up the fretboard. Now, I did a lesson about learning the modes in 2 positions, and we're using the relative major and minor for that particular video. It's really great. It's awesome. It's just like if I have my, A major scale, I'm sort of like up here from 5 to 9, maybe I can extend up to that 10, depending on where I am on the neck. And then I can also open up this position, right? And that just makes it so much easier. What I love about that is it just covers like the 1st fret to the 10th fret, and then we're almost back, right? So this is like a little gray area. So that video, I'll link below. It doesn't matter if you watch that one first or this one first, but this one will help expand throughout the entire neck. I really, really love this lesson. Let's get into it, and let's do it first with the major scale, okay? This is going to be our understanding, in the first part of the lesson that will eventually get us into the other modes and how to do this particular version of like our 2 modal positions, but for 1 mode, right? That'll make sense in just a second. I'm gonna take C, right, my C major. Now, what I wanna do is I wanna open that up to 2 different positions. So if I'm stuck in this position, sort of like this 8th fret position, right? This 8th. Right, what if I do my C down here, and then I have this, right? I like that. And I might start getting lost, right? I might start getting a little foggy, and there's an easy way to remember this. And that is, that's my C, that's my starting note, that's my 1. Right? Whatever is on the fret on the E string above it is going to be the 5 of that. Now, we're in Ionian, we're dealing with the tonic, we're dealing with the 1, which means that's our 5, and our 5th mode is Mixolydian. So, we have the position. If you know the modes and the modal positions, we know the Mixolydian position. Right? That's my G Mixolydian. And if I'm thinking of it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, that's fine. That would be if I'm in a G Mixolydian progression. But I'm not. I'm using that particular position, but musically it's a little bit different. All the notes are the same, all the frets are the same. But if I'm in C, right, I can use that G Mixolydian position, but I'm gonna think of it as 5, 6, 7, 1, because there's my C right there. So I'm learning the 5th position, which is just, if I'm playing whatever chord, in this particular instance, a C, starting on my A, I'm just going to the string above, right? The low E. So now I have 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then wherever I want to bridge it from there, 5, 6, 7, 1. All right? So the reason I love that, the reason I love letting that open up a little bit is we're not constricted to playing that position exactly like it is a G Mixolydian. Okay, real quick, for instance, if I have a G Mixolydian, all right? It's my root note. Right, those G's are my root note. But if I'm taking the exact same position, except playing it in C major, that means now that becomes my root note. Right? And that's what I love about not being locked into a position. It gets very mathematical when we're like, oh wait, this is G Mixolydian. No. We're just using a placeholder of Mixolydian, but we're still playing C major, right? If we're in G Mixolydian, it looks exactly the same, right? And technically it plays exactly the same. But if we're going to be thinking of this musically, it is going to sound and be played differently, all right? So if you give that a shot, all right, and try. I do recommend putting something C major, progression. If you have a loop pedal, that's what I always love, right? And then trying that. See if you can get sort of used to where those root notes are for C, visualizing that, that sort of position, and then go ahead and switch and go back to a G mixolydian, right? And now get used to making those changes. So you could say, all right, I've got this pattern, right? These numbers, these fret numbers, these string numbers, but they mean two different things musically. We have to dig the music out of this. I can't tell you how many clients that I've had that'll come in and they'll be like, oh, I learned that, but I never knew what it meant. And I just do not ever see the point of showing somebody a scale and not telling them what it means, right? And that there's a lot of guitar teachers that do. And myself and then a lot of the people that I work with, we see that. We'll get that with the pentatonic. Oh yeah, like I learned that. And then they play it 100 times. They have, they're still with their teacher for months and months and months, but they never say what that pentatonic means and why you're playing it. They're just sort of like playing. It's almost like, just do the exercises then. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean anything. That's just a warm-up. Now, if I want to take it, I can use the same formula. Let's just say I am in mixolydian, okay? I'm gonna change, I'm gonna move it up just so like we can get a little different position here. If I'm in D mixolydian, right? And instead of that position of my, usual D mixolydian, I wanna play down here, all right? I can do the same thing, 5, 4, 3, 2. Right, so the same fret, just on that lower E string, is my 2 for mixolydian. Mixolydian is the 5th mode, 4th mode, 3rd. Okay, 2nd. What does that mean? That means that my A Dorian, right? My A Dorian is the same exact notes as my D mixolydian, right? The A Dorian, that Dorian mode starting right there, is the 5th of my 5. I hate saying that sometimes because it sounds so ridiculous, right? But if you can follow along, it's great. It's great to learn that way. So now it's the same deal. Let's just say I have this. Right, very typical. Sorry guys, also this is a beater guitar. I'm at school, so it's gonna have some sloppy intonation, especially on this B string. So that's a very A Dorian progression, right? A minor to like D7 back to that A minor, which means if I'm playing Dorian, that A is very focused. Right, that's my root note, okay? But if I'm using that same position, except I'm playing D, D becomes my root note, right? So again, same position. A Dorian, but D musically is my 1 of that scale, my 1 of that mixolydian. So now another great thing to do, I want to throw this in there. If I were to play, I just love doing that in a mixolydian, right? If I'm playing a mixolydian, sliding into, that would be where your pinky is, sort of right there, is the 3rd of that dominant chord, right? My D7 chord, where my pinky is, 7th fret of the B string. Slide into it, go to that 5 on the bottom string, and then resolve it to that D, or even bring it to the flat 7. What I love about that is I'm taking this position, right? That immediately throws me into, oh, nope, that's my root note. Right, just that. You really, you normally wouldn't in like A Dorian, there's not really a reason to accentuate this sort of sliding in to that note, that natural 6 in an A Dorian, but it works if you're visualizing that position in a mixolydian to get that sort of minor major sound, right? Just like if I were up here, right, my normal D mixolydian, same note, right? So just something to show you how you can play those musically so different. So same deal, throw an A Dorian, mess around with it. Cool. And then throw a D7, right? Make a mixolydian and feel that. Gonna play completely differently, right? And the last one I want to do, if you can get that pattern, we could even do it with Lydian. If I were to have like an E, I'll just keep moving up in half steps, but E, right? Sort of an E major to an F sharp. Cool, right? I got that little that sort of E Lydian sound. And it would be the same thing, 4, because Lydian would be my 4th mode, and I can count backwards. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that would mean if I have this E, 7th fret of my A string as a Lydian, right? I could play a B Ionian or major scale, but I'm playing it with that E as my root note. That's always a fun mode to play in. So that's sort of how we're finding them. We can do it just to keep the pattern going. We can do it with minor. Let's say I do have a C, a C Dorian. All right. Right. I can obviously play my C Dorian. Pretty popular positioning there. But if I want to move down here, right, same thing. That's where I want my root note, which means positionally I'm sort of doing like a 2, 1, 7, 6. Right, so that'd be like the position of an Aeolian, of a G Aeolian. Except that's my root note. Cool. And so on. So give that a shot. Now, if you're checking out the link in the description, what that'll do is if you're in C major, let's just say, it'll sort of give you this C major. You're up here, cool, and then it'll give you this major pentatonic to then build the other position of a C major from down here, down below, right? And then what we just did will give you the C major in this position, right? And this position sort of extends back to the second fret, which means when you're up here, you're bridging everything together, right? It seems like a lot of work. It's not necessarily. Just if you have questions, comment below, DM, whatever, because I don't want you to get too stuck on this and it to actually take too long, right? If you're at a level that some of this made sense and the positions made sense, the math kind of stuff is what gets a little bit tricky, because you don't necessarily at first want to be thinking like, all right, I'm in C major, right? Oh, the 5, okay, so that's mixolydian, but still, that's my root note. That's just what it takes to learn and process this, and then eventually it just becomes free in like a musical language. So any questions, please ask, and I will see you guys.